In the year 1044, a man named Benedict IX sat down in the chair of St. Peter in the Vatican. He was a young man for the papacy at just 33 years old, but he had already made a name for himself as a skilled administrator in the church. As the nephew of the previous pope, he was chosen to be the next in line, and he had the support of powerful people like Emperor Henry III. So far, so good. But something strange was happening in the life of this pope. He began to feel a strong distaste for the lifestyle of the rich and powerful. He gave away all his possessions and distributed them to the poor. And while that might sound like a good thing, it wasn't exactly what the church expected from their leader. The cardinals were not happy with this turn of events, and they went directly to the emperor for help. Henry III summoned Pope Benedict to explain his actions. But before he could even respond, the emperor ordered him to give back everything he had given away. When Benedict refused, Henry III took drastic measures. He cut off the Pope's income and besieged the Vatican until he agreed to reinstate his possessions. This conflict between the Pope and the Emperor would only get worse over the next few years. When Henry's son and successor, Henry IV, came into power, Benedict's star began to rise again. After a successful trip to France, where he met with the king and made new friends in the royal court, Benedict returned to Rome a changed man. He took on a new personality, became arrogant and overbearing, and used his newfound power to take control of central Italy. This pope, who once gave up his luxurious lifestyle to live among the poor, now oppressed the Italian people and amassed great wealth for himself. These opposing sides of Pope Benedict IX make him one of the most controversial figures in the history of the papacy. But there is more to his story than that, because after all these events, he would end up dying, coming back to life, resigning, and becoming a monk. Yep, you heard that right. There are very few cases of resignation in the history of the papacy. Only 8 men have resigned from the papacy in the last 600 years. Benedict IX was not one of them, but that doesn't mean that he didn't want to resign. In fact, in the year 1045, he tried to do so, but no one accepted his resignation. This pope, who had given up his fortune, become arrogant and oppressive, then had a change of heart and wanted to become a monk. He wrote a letter to the emperor asking for permission to leave the papacy and become a simple monk instead. But Henry IV never responded. To this day, we don't know why he didn't accept the Pope's resignation. Maybe he didn't get the letter, or maybe he just ignored it. We simply don't know. And so the Pope stayed on the throne, even though he didn't want to be there anymore. What happened next is one of the biggest mysteries of church history. In 1046, Benedict was mysteriously poisoned. Some believe it was Henry IV who wanted to get rid of the Pope because he was getting too powerful. Others say it was the cardinals who were tired of the Pope's constant conflicts with the emperor. But there is no way to know for sure. All we know is that shortly after being poisoned, the Pope fell ill and died. But when his body was exhumed a few years later, it was found to be missing. Where did the Pope's body go? Was he actually dead, or did he escape and hide somewhere? We simply don't know. The story of Pope Benedict IX is a fascinating one, full of twists and turns that make him one of the most mysterious figures in the history of the papacy. From his early days as a reformer to his later years as an oppressor, Benedict was a complex and contradictory figure whose legacy has been debated by historians for centuries. If you enjoyed learning about this pope who gave it all up and then came back, then check out our other videos about the most controversial popes in history. You'll be shocked by the things these men did. Thank you for watching. Until next time.